Hello, my name is Darshil Shankar. My roll number is 154 and my topic is Unix booting sequence. An operating system is a low level software that manages resources, controls peripherals, and provides basic services to other software. In Linux, there are six distinct stages in the typical booting process. First one is BIOS. BIOS stands for Basic Input Output System. In simple terms, the BIOS loads and executes the master boot record, means MBR bootloader. When you first turn on your computer, the BIOS first performs some integrity checks of the HDD or SSD. Then the BIOS searches for loads and executes the bootloader program, which can be found in the master boot record. The MBR is sometimes on a USB stick or a CD-ROM, such as with live installation of Linux. Once the bootloader program is detected, it's then loaded into memory and the BIOS gives control of the system to it. The next process is MBR. MBR stands for Master Boot Record and is responsible for loading and executing the GRUB bootloader. The MBR is located in the first sector of the bootable disk, which is typically /dev/hda or /dev/sda depending on your hardware. The MBR also contains information about GRUB or LIDO in very old systems. Third system is group, sometimes called GNU group, which is short form of GNU G-RAND in Unified Bootloader, is a typical bootloader for most modern Linux systems. The GRUB splash screen is often the first thing you see when you boot your computer. It has a simple menu where you can select some options. If you have multiple kernel images installed, you can use your keyboard to select the one you want your system to boot with. By default, the latest kernel image is selected. The splash screen will wait a few seconds for you to select an option, and if you don't, it will load the default kernel image. In many steps, you can find the GRUB configurations file at /boot/group/group.config or /etc/grub.config. Here's an example of a simple group.config file. Okay, so the next process is kernel. The kernel is often referred to as the core of any operating system, Linux included. It has complete control over everything in your system. In this stage of the boot process, the kernel that was selected by group first mounts the root file system that's specified in the group.config file. Then it executes the /sbin and /init program, which is always the first program to be executed. You can confirm this with its process ID, PID, which should always be 1. The kernel then establishes a temporary root file system using initial RAM disk INI TRD until the real file system is mounted. The next process is init. At this point, your system executes a run level program. At one point, it would look for an init file, usually found at /etc and /init tab to decide the Linux run level. Modern Linux systems use system MD to choose a run level instead. According to TechMeet, these are the available run levels. Run level 0 is matched by power of .target, and run level 10 .target is symbolic link of to power of .target. Same as run level 1, run level 3, run level 5, and there are different levels. And emergency is matched by emergency.target, and system MD will then begin executing run level programs. And the next step is run level programs. Depending on which Linux distribution you have installed, you may be able to see different services getting started. For example, you might catch starting sendmail .OK. These are known as run level programs and are executed from different directories depending on your run level. Each of the 6 run level described above has its own directory. Run level 0, run level 1 has rc1.d, run level 2 has rc2.d, run level 4 has rc4, and so on. Note that the exact location of this directories varies from distribution to distribution. If you look in different run level directories, you will find programs that start with either an S or K for startup and kill respectively. Startup programs are executed during system startup and kill programs during shutdown. Thank you.